Then they saw the thing that had once been hands unseen. It was immense now, faceless still, but vast as a hill, its limbs formed of tangled wood, its breath the very mist that slithered through the valley. And when it moved, the valley moved with it. It did not speak, nor did it need to. It was in that moment many of the elves knew that their claim had been false, that their forebear's garden had ceased to be his the moment he had turned his back upon it. This was not a place of cultivation anymore. It was a kingdom, and it had a king. The accord of root and bone. They warred, not with blade or spell, but with time. The elves tried to settle the land, but no structure stood longer than a season. Their wells dried, their crops withered, their walls found themselves overrun with ivy, stone crumbling as roots wound through their mortar. The valley did not yield, and so neither did they. For 2 generations they battled a thing that would not fight them, only resist. And in those years the valley whispered to them as well. They came to see the patterns in the land, how it tended itself. They saw that it was not mindless, that it did not strike them down for malice, but because they sought to take without thought. And they learned to listen, to feel the earth as a part of oneself. They learned to ask, to speak to the health of the soil, to hear the whispers of the trees, and to watch the creatures not as some alien or ambivalent baron, but as siblings with the mantle of responsibility. A tree fell only when needed, and when it did, its seed was already planted. A river flowed where it must, and when they honoured it, it offered them its bounty. A home was built not in defiance of the valley, but in accordance with it. In time, they no longer feared the Warden among the trees, and in time it no longer watched them as enemies. Thus there came an accord, not in words nor in oath, but in understanding. A new peace was born, not of dominion, but of cohabitation. And in the years that followed, when the wind moved through the valley, rustling the branches, sighing through the leaves, one could almost believe it was the sighing of something that had laboured its entire existence, something born to serve that found its own freedom and fought for the liberation of all. Something vast and invisible, but felt by all it touched, watching with the unseen hands that had grasped its own liberation, as well as the protection of all it cared for.
Track one, track one, track one. Yo, 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 this is Radio FM. Your mom.